Hey everybody, it's Brendon Burchard, and I'm here with Mr. Frank Kern in San Diego, California. A huge honor to be at his home recording with him to just catch up and see what he's been doing over the past couple of years, especially the past couple of months, where he's been killing it online, as many of you know, heard me talking about and sharing with you. And I just got a couple minutes with him here today to sit and chat.
Gives us an opportunity to test out this white background.
I like the white background.
Yeah.
It's not too shabby.
The whole house is like this.
It's really a big filming studio.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's what people imagine you to be. It's like you just have video studios everywhere you walk.
Everywhere. We're very narcissistic, so we just film ourselves constantly. Yeah.
So you've been away for a while from the market, not doing big launches, but running an unbelievable business. What have you been doing that's killing it?
Well, before today or at this current stage, lots of cool stuff. I'll tell you what's worked really, really well. Major strategic revelation was I went back and I looked at everything I'd done since 2008, and I sort of shook the numbers all around to see what rose to the top, and discovered that really it was one primary activity that made about 80% of the revenue.
Marketing.
Now, well, marketing, yeah, it's amazing.
I discovered marketing!
Who knew? You put sales messages on the internet and people buy stuff. It's a magical formula. No, but it was a specific set of actions that actually worked. You know, so over the past couple of years, you guys might not have seen me. I've done a lot of consulting, worked with a lot of really big names and everything, did some royalty arrangements, did some fee-only arrangements, and really was just in the trenches. I just got kind of bored and felt like going to work in other people's businesses, taking that 30,000-foot view, you know, and seeing what to do and becoming like a strategic advisor. Great. Made a lot of money, helped a lot of people. It's fantastic. And determined from looking at what everybody was doing, and including analyzing my own business, that really the big thing, basically, from a tactical and strategic standpoint, is to A, focus on the specific segment of the market that's going to give you the most money, and that really equates to who you can help the most, right? So the two are intertwined. So that's
I've learned
number
that
one.
a ton from you recently. You were telling me how there's a difference between traffic and buyers.
Totally. Yeah.
It's like,
so everyone's like,
right.
I want to get in front of everybody. And it's like, I don't really want to get in front of everybody. I want to get in front of the people who are going to watch what we do and say, this is for me. I can actually benefit from this. I don't care to entertain anybody. I just want to help them, right? So that immediately removed a lot of extraneous activity and mental bandwidth. To be like, well, let's just make our entire life center around this small group of people. Well, I guess a bigger group of people now, but this group of people who really can genuinely benefit right now from this. And they're the ones who will, of course, become customers. The second thing is more tactical, which is the formula is to give away something free that helps people tremendously, right? Not just a thing, but something that really they're like, dude, thank you for this. Then demonstrate you can help them by novel concept, actually helping them, right? And then offer to help them some more in exchange for money. And that, as basic and foolish as it sounds, if one can just simply focus on just that streamline of activity, of course there's a formulaic way to deliver the content to actually help them and to structure the sales offers, but if you just do that, and you do that to the people who you can benefit the most, it becomes this frictionless, almost, I don't want to say unstoppable momentum because that sounds kind of silly, but it really feels that way, where you just can't really screw that up. And where you go off course is deviating from that activity from any way. That's, I guess, the biggest thing that I've learned recently.
I think philosophically, you know, especially the folks who are watching us who have been on my list for a while, they get that philosophically. Give away a bunch of free stuff, add a lot of value, then ask for sale.
Right.
And so philosophically, what you've done is you've landed at a different practical level where
Well,
you're actually giving away way more value than you ever have.
A bunch of free stuff. It's giving away a couple of core free things that make a huge impact. So one thing I see in our world is people say, yeah, just give away a ton of free stuff. You know, anything you can do to give away. Well, you can do it, you might get leads, but you're not going to get people who are going to buy from you. You're just going to be, activity doesn't equal progress.
Right.
Activity does not equal revenue. Just because we're churning doesn't mean we're actually successful. It doesn't mean we're helping anybody.
Right.
So the first thing you want to do is to identify, okay, what is the big symptom of my marketplace that I can help them with? And here's what I really discovered, is the big thing is actually a symptom of underlying causes. So if you look at my business, the big symptom I fix is low sales, and more specifically, how to increase sales while really helping people. So it's not just sell, it's provide value during the sales process. Well, the lack of sales, what I learned, and this is from all this consulting and all this work with these different clients, the lack of sales is an underlying symptom of usually a set of 4 things that are occurring. Just like a headache is not because there's a acetaminophen deficiency in the body, right? It's dehydration, it's stress, it's whatever. The lack of sales is usually caused by 4 things. So I give away stuff that addresses those 4 things.
Got it.
Right.
What would one of those 4 things be? Example.
Low traffic, low conversion, lack of follow-up, and lack of list building. Right, and there's things within those. But so I'm not going to go give away 9,000 things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to address those 4 issues, help people with those 4 issues, and that funnels them into my core offer.
Got it.
And it's just now you wake up in the morning like, okay, there's these 4 things. That's it. That's all you got to do.
So
there's no
in
overwhelm.
the things that you're giving away free, you're saying what are the practical problems they're actually dealing with?
Absolutely.
And you solve them in the free stuff. So what I love about what you've been doing is because the videos you're giving out aren't hypey. They're saying here's the things you will get that I will solve. You're saying, I'm going to solve these for you right now.
Just do it immediately.
And you actually do that. So your videos are more, I think, I've tried to do that too a little bit, where the videos we release are actually training videos to help them overcome something significant. And that way when you do get to an offer, it's like, hey, if you like that,
it's kind of like if you're,
this.
Absolutely. It's like if you're hungry and you go to a restaurant and before you even order, they say, and they do this at that restaurant in Neiman's. If you ever go to Neiman Marcus, you go there's upstairs. I think it's universally upstairs.
I don't think they allow Montanans there, but
no, you'll just tell them you're from somewhere. I'm from Georgia. I don't tell them that. Yeah. Where are you from? England.
Yes.
My good man.
That works perfect.
Yes. They believe it. It's weird. So you go in there and they'll give you this little cup of this soup stuff, and it's like it's got crack in it or something because you have it and you're like, this is the greatest thing ever, and then you order everything on the menu. Well, metaphorically it's the same thing. You find someone who's hungry for what you got, not for what you could kind of massage your stuff into, but specifically exactly who you can help the most. Then you help them out a little bit, and their reaction what you want to get is thank you, that was great, what's next?
Right. But I want to make a distinction because you're not helping them a little bit. Yeah. Because I think everyone's heard, pushing the free line, everyone's heard give away free stuff, then make the offer. You're literally taking it to another level where you're solving the problem.
Yeah, do this right now and let's see what happens.
Before the offer. Mm-hmm. So that I think that's what people need to hear, because if they hear this and then you say, well, I've heard that idea before, the difference is the level of depth that he's giving in helping them overcome a problem before the offer. Because we're all giving away stuff free somewhere online. Mm-hmm. It's what are you giving away? Is it strategically leading to serving somebody in a way that they might become a buyer? But even if they don't become a buyer, they become huge fans who propagate your message because you've given away so much value that they're surprised.
And they will eventually become a buyer.
Right.
So I'm weird, I've got a little bit of the analytical stuff going on. So I'll go and I'll analyze customer data and I'll say, when did this person who just bought come into my world? And that was, 2009 or something, and they haven't bought anything until now, and now they've bought everything.
Right.
And it's like, well, this is great. And I go back and I look, and I can see everything they've clicked on, every video they've watched. I'm like, well, this is exactly why. Yep. They went through this training, which was free, and they watched this video series, and they'll write back and they'll say, I've been following you for years, and it was that one thing that you said that finally clicked for me.
Got it.
And that's what you want, because it's free to do.
Right.
We acquire an email address.
I love that as a tactical takeaway, by the way. You all sit down and say, what is that one thing I finally said to my customers that made them buy? So if you ask the customers that, and that you finally, you sort of corral all these things, these one things that your customers are saying, I finally bought because of that. That needs to be a message that you put in your sequences, because that's going to increase the conversion just right there. That's a brilliant idea. I love that. So one of the biggest things I think about the problems that my folks face, right? If I'm thinking about, well, how do we solve the problems? One of the biggest things experts face in my world, the objections, the complaints, the worries that my people have is people are skeptical. Why would they believe I'm an expert? Why should they listen to me? Why would they buy my stuff? And they're really concerned about rejection, skepticism, people not believing them. How do you overcome that, and how do you deal with that? Because we can serve them right now with that question.
Dude, okay, this was a big one, all right? It's kind of like if, say there's this river, all right, and the river is flowing really, really quickly in this direction. We got 2 choices, okay? We can try to divert that river, or we can just figure out how to harness the power of the river. And what every other marketing person that you're going to run into, this is a very general statement, I don't know if that's factually accurate, but what most marketing folks say is like, well, you got to overcome the skepticism. We got to defeat the objections.
Right.
And it's stupid, because everybody is skeptical. It is human nature. If you are not skeptical, your peers are going to say there's something wrong with you.
Right.
Like we
You're
are ingrained
thinker.
to be skeptical. And so why in the world would we ever want to combat that?
Yeah.
Right? Why not just go with it? So the first thing you do, there's 2 approaches. Number one is totally unnecessary to come out and say, look at me, I'm an expert, right? Naturally, that's going to be uncomfortable for most people. It's just weird.
Right.
You know, like you wouldn't want anyone to come to your house and be like, listen, you need to listen to me because I'm an expert. What we respond to as humans is demonstration of value. So the first thing is it's totally okay to not say, look at how great I am. Right. And nobody wants to hear you or me or anyone say, look at how great I am. There are 3 levels of influence, right? There's 3 ways we can do it. We can talk about how great our stuff is, which is what almost everybody does. The second one is we can get others to talk about how great our stuff is, right? Which is you hear about social proof and all of that. Thankfully, that's where most of our competitors in any market, that's where they stop. That's the areas they focus on, and that's great, and it works okay. The third, most underutilized, dramatically most powerful weapon, if you will, of influence is demonstration. If we demonstrate how great our stuff is, we don't convince them of anything. They say, that's pretty damn good.
Right. They see it working, they believe it, they know it, and they can conceptualize it for themselves.
So the first thing to overcoming skepticism is to not manufacture it by claiming anything, by simply saying, here's something that's been working very well for me. I'll show you what's working, and maybe you can try it. That's a great way of saying, this is the greatest thing in the world. You have to do this.
Right.
You know, or here's a method you might consider investigating for your own, you know, very, very laid back, and then just show them it. So the second thing, to deal with skepticism, so that'll eliminate a lot of it. Just by
demonstration.
Well, and not having that manufactured resistance. Right. Immediately when I come and say, I'm good, you're going to be like, whoa.
Right.
Why? It doesn't matter who it is.
One of the things I'm always teaching my audience is you have to overlay expert story positioning on top of a success, meaning people don't believe your successes unless they believe your struggles.
Yeah.
So we always teach them before you go and say, hey, look at me, look at all my achievements, my accolades, or my results and clicks here. Here's my story. And that story always has to have an element of struggle, because if they don't believe the struggle, they won't believe the successes. So you have to say, look, I was trying to figure this out. I was frustrated with this. I was at this turning point in my life. And I had to have my breakthrough, and I was so frustrated. I went out and I tried to learn these things. I tried to get these things. And finally I figured out this one thing. And I applied it, and oh my gosh, here's what happened.
Yeah.
And if you can share your results, I mean, the best way to overcome skepticism is if you do share results, share them in a way that you're surprised and grateful for them.
Yeah.
Instead of being, ha ha ha, look at me, which is what everyone wants to do, right? Be the buttoned up corporate guy of, look at my pedigree. No, it's like, wow, I can't believe this worked for me so well.
Yeah.
You know, and it brings humanity back to your conversation about achievement.
All of my pedigree is listed right here. There's nothing there. I have none, you know. But I can help someone build a list. I can help someone close a sale, and I'd never talk about my stuff, right? So you take all of that, what you just said, which is 1,000% true, and then wrap that around the fact that everyone watching this right now really doesn't care about me or you at all. They care about themselves, which is fine. It's human nature, right? So we should really tell our story, do a good job, but make everything ultimately about them.
Right.
And even one step above that is make everything about the results that they want to achieve. And then one step above that, which is the overlying principle that we should always pay attention to, is help them get those results.
Right.
And if we do that, in conjunction with asking for a sale, or in advance of asking for a sale, the skepticism is it can still be there, but it is not nearly as prevalent. Now, one would ask, okay, but what about still there's going to be some skepticism? You're absolutely right. So the way to overcome it is to address it head on. Say, you know what, now, a lot of folks that watch this are going to be worried about XYZ, and that makes perfect sense, and you're normal to be worried about XYZ. And then a great way to overcome it, and you have to be telling the truth here, obviously, so you don't want to, there is nothing that works better than the truth, is the feel, felt, found. I know exactly how you feel. It makes perfect sense that you would feel that way, and I used to feel the same way too. And here's what I found, and then just teach.
Right.
Don't say you're wrong, don't say that's what they want you to believe, none of that stupid crap that everybody else does. Thankfully, everyone else keep doing that. Right.
But for the hypey
like us,
stuff, you're bringing it into personalization.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt that way before, and here's what I've learned, is kind of our here's what I've learned along the way. And that way you're not discounting their feelings. You should say, well, a lot of people will ask this, but their mindset is wrong, they're stupid, and they'll try to address an objection by belittling people who think that way. And I'm like, but they're thinking that way. You know, it's like that. It's like that old story in marital relationships where, you know, when the man goes to apologize to the woman, he's always, you know, making her wrong for it. All right, I'm sorry, honey, but you shouldn't think that way. That's not how you apologize.
No,
right. And the same thing in overcoming objections. You don't belittle them and say, well, you're wrong thinking, you're stupid. No, you say, well, I understand.
Well, in
I've
some
been through
cases, it's okay. And in some cases, this is where you really overcome it, is you say, and you know what? This might not be for you. So if you're looking for X, Y, and Z, this isn't it. And man, so first of all, the people who are looking for X, Y, and Z, which is the thing you don't have, they'll go away. Now, your competition is going to try to sell them.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want X, Y, and Z. You want this. That's stupid.
Right.
Let's just serve the vital few who we can help the most.
I love that.
Right? So you say, hey, if you're looking for X, Y, and Z, I don't have it. So I'm respectful of your time. And now the guys who aren't looking for that just said, boom, this person is 100% straight shooter.
Or in negotiation, a quick tool to use is to take the same thing that they're concerned about and now make it a strength. And so you would say, I know you guys are critical thinkers. I know you have doubts about this. So do me a favor. Use that when you go into my course.
Yeah.
When you're in my course, I want you to take that same thing. I don't want to overcome anything with you right now. I want you to bring that critical thinking in, bring that doubt right into the course. And if you're not blown away in the first week, let us know.
It's a beautiful embedded command.
Yeah.
By the way.
Thank you.
It's just absolutely
But it's
incredibly
true.
good.
It's it's leveraging that as a strength. It's saying that same thing is going to serve you to know whether this within a week is right for you or wrong for you. And if it is not right for you, please ask for your money back. We have to refund it. I think you're going to find that you may be surprised by what's in here.
Yeah. And if you're not surprised, totally fine.
Right.
So I guess the big thing is don't worry about it. Just be super cool. The minute you try to sell to everybody, that's when you lose most. Right? The man who chases two rabbits catches none. So we say, here's the perfect rabbit for us. We're going to serve this rabbit impeccably. And if someone is not that rabbit, it's totally fine. And sometimes the skeptics are not. Now if there's a guy who has a legitimate thing to be weirded out, say, hey, I totally understand. And here's what I found, and here's some things you might want to test and see if that works for you. And that's so much better than no, you're wrong. And then if you're the guy saying, I want to learn how to grow my, meth lab business using your techniques, you can easily say, I'm not the best choice for the meth lab business.
Yeah, I love that.
It doesn't work for the meth lab business, and maybe you should check out some of these other resources. Now your non-meth lab people think you're great because you're a straight shooter.
It wouldn't be a video with Frank Kern unless meth labs
You've
were
got
brought up
to
or
have
something.
the meth lab thing in there.
And I hope you guys hear something too. Take the first thing we talked about and the second thing we talked about and pull them together, which is the first thing we talked about is adding tremendous value to the point where you're actually solving problems and helping them.
That's the
and then when
biggest
you're
thing.
dealing with skepticism, demonstrate that. I mean, just give so much value, overcome their problems at such a degree, the skepticism starts to go away because you've added so much value. Another thing you were telling me about.
Something real quick about the addition of so much value. Stuff does not equal value. Right. So,
hours don't equal value.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So please don't watch this and think, oh my gosh, man, I got to make 7 million hours. You don't. Usually, if you go into your marketplace and you say, what's the big thing they suffer from that I can personally help with? And then you say, okay, now logically look within and say, what are the underlying causes of this big thing? Help them with the big thing with those underlying causes. So I'm talking like 15 minutes of stuff because, if you apply 80-20, it's true in everything.
Right.
80% of the problems can be solved by 20% of these little things, and you help them do those little things, they're going to love you.
Yeah, you figure out that one thing
Yeah.
that they're struggling with, that one challenge, the bigger one that's impeding most progress.
Exactly right.
Right? Not that one thing they hope for, they dream of. It's like, what's that one thing that might be impeding most progress and help them overcome that. Another thing you've taught me, and I've been listening to and trying to learn a bit more from, especially this new course you have coming out, which I'm so stoked about, is this thing called dynamic marketing.
Yeah.
I know I need to get better at it, and my
It's a
audience
big
might
deal.
not have heard about it. So
Yeah.
how do you explain what dynamic marketing is and what we should do?
This is, I think, really the holy grail of marketing. This is amazing, and I didn't create this, by the way. I just observed it and now kind of systemized it. So I want you to think about something. If you sort of remember everything you've ever opted into, like every funnel, it's usually this. Here's the free thing. If you're lucky, you get some good videos, and it's buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Well, that's worked, okay. But what's our big concern around that? As people with lists, as you build your list and as your brand grows, we become very and rightfully concerned about overwhelming the list, about burning them out if we just keep on hammering them and stuff. So what dynamic marketing really is dynamic behavioral marketing. You can now, thanks to unbelievably easy technology, only send specific messages to people based on the actions they have taken. So literally, it's as if you're re-opting people in, but they don't actually have to fill in their email address. So let's go to the example of I'll give you my business, for example, right? If you were to take my personal business, I solve the problem of not having enough sales, right? And not having enough sales is caused by all kinds of stuff. Now, they could opt in on a list building thing because not having a list is an underlying thing that's going to cause that main symptom.
Right.
They could opt in on a conversion thing. They could opt in on a follow-up thing. So where most people are going to do, people opt in for one of the things, and then they just get this pummeled with stuff, right? Wrong way to do it. We have evolved. So now what you do is dynamic behavioral is you say, I've made this video for you about 5 ways you can increase conversion, right? And you send it to your list. And it's just a free thing. It's just nothing but goodwill, which I think all of our marketing should in itself be inherently valuable. That's a very, very big fundamentally underlying principle of everything that I do and everything I think we should all do. So I've made this thing for you. I think it'll help with this. I hope you enjoy it. That message goes out to the list.
Awesome email structure, by the way.
Yeah, it works.
Awesome.
You know, I don't want to say every single time, but it has only worked every single time for me personally, right? It just works. So is every single person on the list going to go watch that? No. Now, what your competition is going to do is they're going to send 9 million emails. Go watch this thing. It's amazing. And then if they don't watch it, they're going to send them video number 2 in the series or whatever. In dynamic behavioral response, what we do is we'll give them 3 chances to go watch that video at the most. So the next day, hey, just wanted to make sure you saw this. And then maybe we'll wait a day and say, you know what, a lot of people love this. If you need some conversion help, go watch it. Super friendly. Only if they watch it do we then begin to talk to them about conversion as it relates to our stuff. So you have marketing, you have marketing campaigns, and you have marketing angles. So I can sell my get more sales with the angle of conversion wrapped around it. I could also then, for everyone who didn't click and go down the conversion path, send out a video about how to build your list, right? So then I can sell, and then only the ones who click it are going to begin the dialogue with me about how to sell more stuff with the wrapper of build your list on it.
Right, smarter marketing because you're using tools of today like Infusionsoft,
Aweber
OAP,
with AW Pro Tools will do it.
Right, yeah. So anything that can help you with your autoresponders or your mailing sequences actually measure the behavior. Did this person do this? If they did, trigger this next thing.
Yeah.
And if they didn't trigger that thing.
Yeah, so it's only talk about bananas to people who have asked for bananas. Right? Even if they came in on fruit in general, your competition is going to say, buy this fruit bowl. Boom, 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 boom. What we do as smarter marketers to increase the overall value of the experience people have with us, which is crucial now because there's so much noise in every single marketplace in the world. We have to rise to the top by demonstration. Is we just say, hey, you want a banana recipe? I'll just make it like kind of universal. The guys who say yes, now we're talking to them about bananas. But if they don't say yes, we don't talk about it.
I think what happens is some people probably hear this and they say, holy crap, that's going to take me, 40 more hours to set up a marketing campaign.
No, that's the greatest thing ever.
You're literally spending what I think, from what he's told me, you're spending like an extra hour or 2 to set up these triggers and these dynamic sort of tricks, I guess.
Triggers is the perfect word.
Okay, dynamic triggers in your autoresponder and your Infusionsoft or Optimized Press or Aweber, whatever it is. And that 1 extra hour you spend is going to make an infinite result. I mean, it's going to completely change the course of not only their experience, but your sales.
Yeah, here's the biggest paradigm shift, if I could just sort of take it out and instill it into everyone. What everyone has been taught about marketing and direct response and selling is push. And really when you push, you're trying to go up the river. And what dynamic behavioral response marketing is, and what this overcoming of skepticism by demonstrating value and acknowledging the skepticism, all of that is we're just harnessing the power of that river, and we are going with the river to get us there faster. So which choice do you want to do? Do you want to push up the river and get everybody mad and be just another salesman and be hypey? Or do you want to genuinely provide massive value through every single step of your marketing and selling process and tailor the experience based on what your prospects' actions are? That's what it's all about. And when we embrace that paradigm shift, we really have something. Instead of campaigns, what we're really doing is creating assets that produce revenue and produce return for us over, sometimes it's generations, there are literally some campaigns that Dad started that's still running. But now we can really put that on overdrive thanks to this incredible era we live in with the internet and the ability to communicate on video and just the coolness that we have now. So that's what it's all about.
I love it. I know you're teaching a lot of that in the new course, Mass Conversion. I can't wait to friggin' take it. It's
I know,
awesome.
It's good. It's very, I got to tell you, I don't want to, toot my own horn, but this is the best stuff I've ever created.
It's
hands
amazing,
down.
amazing course. From what I've seen from it, guys, it's incredible. So I want to do this with you. Check out below this video. You'll see all my details about the bonus offer I'm giving if you enroll in his new mass conversion course, which I'm freaking out about. It's not only the first course from him since mass control, which changed the direction of my entire life. You're probably watching me and you're hearing from me because I learned mass control, and he told me to put all of my stuff online, and I started learning everything he teaches. So I want to thank him for that. And I'd love for you to get enrolled in mass conversion. If you do that, I want to do something for you. If you enroll in mass conversion today, what I'll do is I'll give you for free tuition 2 Total Product Blueprint. Most of you all know, you've seen me market that before. It's a $2,000 online course on how to create and market the 12 most lucrative information marketing courses. If you enroll in mass conversion, I'm going to give you that $2,000 course for free. If you're already a Total Product Blueprint member, I'll go ahead and give you something else that you would like. Experts Academy or High Performance Academy. You see me market those as well. We want to take care of you if you've already been through Total Product Blueprint. But I think that matchup of mass conversion.
Unbelievable offer that you've just
given. You all know that I'm a student of Frank's, and so I think this whole thing of mass conversion with Total Product Blueprint, now you know how to create and market every one of the products, and you tie in everything he teaches in terms of psychology of sales, everything he teaches in terms of getting people to believe in you, trust in you, buy from you, and charge premium prices, and then overlaying the dynamic marketing. I think
ridiculous.
You're going to explode. So please check out below this video. Enroll today. Look forward to seeing you on the other side. Until then, as always, with Frank, thank you so much for being here, buddy.
Dude, this is great.
Yeah, this is
I think
cool.
we helped some people out today. I hope we did. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks,
by
everybody.
the way. Yep.